keep the question coming in while holding your smile. Okay, we're almost there. So, saya juga ingin mengambil masa ni berterima kasih kepada speaker kami, Mr. Guillermo, dan saya harap tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sudah banyak belajar hari ini. Tapi jangan leave dulu, kita ada lagi soal dan jawab, sesi soal dan jawab。所以大家不要这样快离开哦，看到有些朋友已经离开了，叫我们进来。我们还有这个问答环节。我们还有一个问答环节，还有幸运抽奖哦。OK。好，陆续的问题可以发进来哈。So boleh hantar soalan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan dalam chat. Sebab kita akan bermula dengan soal dan jawab Q&A sebentar lagi. Ladies and gentlemen, our session has not ended yet, so please remind your friend to come back in for Q&A. Thank you. Okay. So let's, because we have so many questions tonight, we really want to pick some interesting questions. And for some of those questions, I believe during the talk, your answer is provided, right? I saw some of the question has been answered indirectly when Mr. Guillermo is sharing. And some of the more common question, actually our team is able to help you with that. So we will have to maybe choose 5 questions for today. And I do see some very common question. Some of our participants today is asking about children. So Mr. Guillermo, maybe could you help us to explain a little, we know that children can take Kington Life Plasma, but what are the benefits? And I saw a few questions was asking about autism. So what's your explanation for that?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, very clear.
Yes, so benefits for children are the same than for adults. So we can remember what we said in our last slide. Kington Isotonic, we are going to use it in children that are suffering for any kind of digestive diseases. Like gastroenteritis, enteritis, stomach pain, stomach ache, any kind of digestive disease. Mm-hmm. And in fact, Kington Isotonic, we could use it in any kind of medical problem in children. There is no contraindication, no side effect in even in pregnant women, newborn, little children, teenagers. So it's very useful, Kington Isotonic. And with Kington Minerale, we are going to focus on children that are a little bit more old, no? That are elder, like from, for example, 6 years. I think it can be interesting to use it, or 6 to 10 years. Because Kington Isotonic is enough and has enough minerals and enough nutrients to take advantage of this tool.
So we understand that. So whatever condition like you have shared just now, infectious disease, immunological disorder, the digestive system, or even some of the skin disorder, even kids, both kids and adult will be benefit. Yeah, so is there any particular benefit for autistic children in the consumption of Kington?
Well, we have some testimonies that are very interesting. To be honest, we haven't realized the clinical trials specifically to test the product in autistic population, but we know that some, in the normal functioning of the nervous system and normal psychological function or mental functioning, these elements are important. They are important in everything, because we are, as we said in the training, during the training, we are composed by, or we consist of in cells that are together, and all these cells have a metabolism and need enzyme cofactors. They need minerals. It doesn't mean if it's an immune cell, or if it's a neuron, or it's a cell from the liver. It doesn't mean there's no, all the cells need these cofactors to work correctly and to do their metabolism. And so if we can give to our central nervous system and to our neurons all the nutrients, the trace elements, the minerals that maybe through our diet we can give them enough in an enough quantity, well, it can be useful, of course, for this population, for any kind of medical problem, because we are not focusing on a specific disease. We are focusing on health and on in giving the balance to the organism, and in looking for the health, not to treat a specific or a special disease.
Yeah, so yeah, that is a very good explanation, because a lot of people, they are actually, posting a lot about this type of disease or that particular disease. So in general, because it helps us to balance up our internal environment, so we're focusing on the overall health rather than like just one particular condition. But of course, in like what you shared just now, certain condition, we have seen so many good testimonials that it actually helps people to recover or just lessen some of the symptom, and it works in various systems in our body, right? Okay, so, and I saw one interesting question. I think many people would also like to know that. Can we take Kington Isotonic before and after COVID-19 vaccination? And how will it help for those of us who have not or have taken our vaccination?
Okay, well, so as I said, there are no contraindications of the product. It can be perfectly used pre and post, or before and after the process of vaccination. But we recommend people to use it when people is going to use it, or are going to use it after the vaccination. Maybe we can wait a few days, because we know that some vaccines, well, not some, every vaccine has side effects. And yeah, sure. If people is taking the vaccine and taking Kington Isotonic and there are side effects, some people can say, no, it's due to the consumption of Kington. And this is not true, because there are no side effects in Kington. But to avoid that, maybe people can wait 2 or 3 days, a few days after vaccination to use Kington. And well, from our point of view, it can help to rebalance the organism. It's the same we mentioned before in the question. We are going to help the organism to recover the natural conditions after the process of vaccination. And before the process of vaccination, we also are going to give an intake of trace elements minor elements, major elements, vitamins, different nutrients, micronutrients that are needed by our cells. So let's say that it will help us to manage some effects of the vaccine, some side effects.
Mm-hmm. Sure, good. So there's another common question. What are the benefits of taking Kington Isotonic or Kington Mineral for people with busy lifestyle and maybe they are in long-term but moderate stress?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, this is something that I think we already mentioned. In the synthesis or in the production of energy, of ATP, metabolic energy, there are different metabolic paths, and all of them are all these paths, all the steps of the paths are done or are managed by specific metabolic enzymes, and all these enzymes need cofactors. The cofactors are minerals, like one very important cofactor, let's say that it is the most important, is magnesium. If through Kington Isotonic, Kington Minerale, we are giving or doing an intake of these cofactors, it is interesting for one person that doesn't do sport or doesn't have a busy lifestyle, but it is much more important for one person that has a very busy lifestyle, because this person needs to produce more energy. So its enzymes, her enzymes need to have more cofactors, more nutrients, more carbohydrates, more proteins, more zinc, more magnesium. So if we can give that through the diet to this person with the hard or busy lifestyle, this person is going to develop a problem of fatigue, chronic fatigue. That we need a balance between the consumption of major nutrients, but also minor nutrients, and the use of these macro and micronutrients. So it's very important to understand Kington Isotonic, but I think most important Kington Minerale as a mineral and micronutrient supplement, for especially for these people with a busy lifestyle.
Yeah, because I also come across studies saying that people who are always busy and with very high stressful life, they tend to deplete more of these minerals. So definitely if they have this sufficient from supplements like Kington, then it will help them to improve their energy level. And like you say, it supports our metabolic processes. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, so if our metabolic processes are well supported, then probably it benefits different system in our body, right? Like nervous system, our endocrine system.
Sure,
Yeah.
Because every cell in our body has a metabolism,
and
every cell needs cofactors, enzyme cofactors, and needs these minerals and these micronutrients. Nervous a neuron, muscle cells, liver cells, etc.
Yeah, so definitely important for busy and stressful adult. All right, so there is another question. So this one was asking, this is a very, very common question. So how do I know if Kington is functioning well and suitable for my body? After I take it, how do I know if it's good?
Well, it's a complex and a simple question to reply. There are several ways to know it. We have, from a scientific methodology or perspective, we have some biochemical parameters that we could measure. We know that some Kington ampoules can modify these biochemical parameters. And so this is a way to know it. But of course, there are other ways, subjective ways, as for example, it's easier, of course, if someone has well, if someone is ill, has a disease, because we can see how is the evolution of the clinical course of the disease with the introduction of the ampoules of Kington. We can compare, no? But I think one of the most important ways to know it is just the self, let's say, the self-perception of the evolution of a disease.
So in short, if of course we have the biochemical parameters, which means we do a blood test and we can actually see improvement on the numbers on our report, maybe from below standard back to normal. That is a black and white. Yeah, we definitely know it's improving. And if like self-perception is more on how we feel generally, right? Probably from feeling ill to feeling better, relief headaches, more energy, all this, right? Okay.
That's it. That's the idea. Sure.
All right. So let's see. Another common question. Yeah. I saw two questions. Maybe we can link them together. How does Kington Isotonic help people who are suffering from fever? And there are also people asking, will Kington Isotonic help to raise the white blood cell level? Because we know that when infections happen, our white blood cell is supposed to do its job. So how is that working?
Yeah, these two questions are linked indeed. Related to fever, there is no direct effect that we know, because we haven't developed a special experiment to see that. But it's the same as we said before. We are going to rebalance the organism. There's also a potential immunomodulatory effect that we have observed in different immune cell types. So this will help us or help our body to stop the fever, in theory, because fever depends on it's a natural process to fight against an infection. So if we can, for example, it's just an idea, if we can increase the respiratory burst in neutrophils, and we increase neutrophils bactericidal activity, we are going to eliminate the infection more how can I say, quicker than if we don't use the Kington ampoules. So we will stop the fever before, I mean, quicker, because we will finish with the let's say the source or the etiology of the fever, the reason,
Okay.
It's another, we always need to understand the concept of health more than the concept of disease, and the concept of balance. If our body has enough sleep, enough rest, if we control or we have a moderate let's say emotional life, if we have a correct nutrition, a balanced nutrition, but not only looking for the macronutrients like proteins, carbs, etc., but also the micronutrients, the vitamins and the minerals and the trace elements, our body will be able to fight any kind of disease, any kind of infection, and we will recover faster from these kind of symptoms, like fever, no? Or stomach ache, or headache. It's maybe it's little bit difficult to understand, but it's how we see the health and the disease, how we understand now the health and disease.
So I think you have make a really good summary, because this will be the last question. And yes, the main point is, as long as we are able to keep the balance within, all the system will just run correctly, right? Without any problem. So yeah, in the end, we still would want to look for getting the balance so that our body is healthy, and not maybe just not looking at the problem, but try to, work with our body so that it's generally healthy and happy. So thank you so much, Mr. Guillermo, for spending your time with us. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to Mr. Guillermo. Sekali lagi, Toto dan puan-puan, kita amat berterima kasih kepada penceramah Encik Guillermo hari ini。那先生女士们，非常感谢我们今天的讲师为我们分享了这么多。So thank you, Mr. Guillermo. I think you can have your time to rest now after a long hours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chirin, and thank you, everyone. Goodbye. See you soon.
Bye. Thank you so much.